Oh, well, hello there, my Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising Mercury signs. Welcome to your Samhain and Mercury Retrograde in Scorpio reading. Woo, man, this is intense stuff. Obviously, you are my 8th reading in this series, and I bless the decks every single time before I start in this one. Whoa. Sort of a tidal wave for y'all. So we're going to see what happens. But first of all, let's get some things out of the way. If you are new to the channel, I am your reader for the moment. Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Call me Mal. All my friends do. President of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and damn Skippy, happy to be reading tonight, even though this already feels intense and not a card has hit the table. My subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. I'm making my way closer and closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers so that I can have super live chat. Really into doing the super live chat at some point. It's very much like a Facebook group chat. I have my own Facebook group, a secret group called Words of Grace by Mark A. Lyons. It's based on my second ebook. The links for all that stuff is in the description box below. So I'm familiar with the format, but I kind of want to do it on YouTube, and I want to do live readings. Yeah. So help me out, newbies, my new people. So yeah, this Halloween, right? October 31st, Mercury goes direct, as well as for many people, it marks the first day of Samhain, right? S-A-M-H-A-I-N, pronounced Samhain, not Samhain. It's not Samhain, it's Samhain. The death holiday, essentially, in the pagan wheel of the year. There are 8 Sabbats, or holidays, in the pagan wheel of the year. If you think of it as a circle with quarters and cross quarters, it's the last cross quarter before starting again at winter solstice. So it is sort of like, if you wanted to look at it as a moon phase, it would be the dark moon of the sun. A time of death and transformation. You're familiar, Scorpio. But now add to it that really the cross-quarter day is not Halloween. Halloween is October 31st, right? It's trick-or-treaters and all of that. The astrological date of Samhain is when the sun hits 15 degrees Scorpio, halfway through the sign. So that usually happens about a week afterwards. So check your astrological calendars. I know I usually research that stuff. I just didn't for the reads. So I'm used to the underworld. Totally cool with it. So this reading, if you noticed in the description box, trigger warning, all of these readings have been powerful because they are about shadow work, right? They're like, what do you have to transform? What do you have to let go of? What do you have to look at? What do you have to alchemize? What is the shadow in you that needs to be brought into light, right? The lead in you that needs to be alchemized into gold, or at least can be during this time. Oh, you could put it off, but too much lead in your system is toxic, right? So essentially it's about healing, but I like the language of spiritual alchemy for all of that. And since you're all Scorpios, the signs of transformation and all of that stuff, not just the scorpion, but also the eagle and the phoenix are your symbols. So we're looking at some possibility of transcendence, transformation, etc., ruled by Pluto, as you are. Pluto, Hades, god of the dead, lord of the underworld, and a close personal friend of mine. He ain't the devil. He's a sweetheart, the ender of pain. So maybe that's a possibility here, to put some end to some pain. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the Caroline Myss archetype card, so we can look at what is the dominant soul power, the dominant archetype for you this Samhain season and Mercury retrograde, so that you can transform and really look at things, retrograde them, rethink them, replan, reevaluate, right? So all the cards that I read are in the description box below at the bottom. If you find any of these that are interesting, go click the link. I've been using pretty much all of them for a long time, except for the Whispers of Love, which we will end the reading with. So we start with one card and we end with one card. Cool, cool. Anything else? Oh yeah, breathe, right? That's been the guidance that's been coming through for the past 48 hours. Mark, just breathe. Breathe. It's like you're inhaling all of the divine grace and will, and you're exhaling anything that needs to go. Just like you can't absorb all the grace you'll ever need in one moment, you cannot exhale everything that no longer serves all in one moment either. So that is who we are. We are the breath, right? So be the breath. Be the breath. So if you do get triggered, and here's what I'll tell you, you will know pretty quickly if this is your reading, right? The first 3 cards alone should give you an indication. I don't think this is me. But really, how you know a reading is not for you if you go, meh, right? But if you're like, ding, 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 or oh, how dare you, it's you, right? It's called attraction repulsion, and when it has that kind of energetic animation behind it, it's your soul telling you, yeah, that's you. Light or shadow, lead or gold. Cool. So if this isn't your reading, go check your other signs, right? That's why I always do sun, moon, rising, something, right? So that you have puzzle pieces, because I'm a mystic and I live by clues, right? My own intuitive hunches. I'm a professional intuitive. I've been doing this a long time. I've developed my intuitive skill by basing my life decisions on them, you know, in prayer and meditation. The street level turn left, turn right stuff is fun too. But, you know, major life decisions, going into prayer and then opening up in meditation and saying, all right, just show me, right? I'm really going with the guidance that I get, and I don't always like it, and it ain't always fun, but I always end up where I'm supposed to be, fulfilling my role in the divine plan for that chapter, right? So let's dive in. Take a nice deep breath or 2, ground and center, call in your guides, your masters, your angels, your gods, your goddesses, your saints, your totems, your healers, because here we go. And we begin. My collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, 1 card to represent the dominant archetype, the soul power to be developed, alchemized in this Scorpio collective sun, moon, rising, Mercury sign, Samhain reading, and Mercury retrograde reading. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, what is their dominant archetype? What is the most helpful thing for them to look at in terms of shadow work, embracing the shadow, and all that jazz? The mediator. Oh, the mediator. Now, if you're new to the channel, these cards have a light attribute and a shadow attribute. If you like gold and lead. Usually when I do these, I read the light first and then the shadow. This time we are reversing it for obviously the purpose of identifying what is the lead, right? That's what this time is about, Scorpio transformation, right? The fires of transformation, right, Scorpio? So think of a furnace holding a piece of lead in a furnace and alchemizing, burning off at least 3 atoms, right? Because lead on the periodic table has 3 more atoms than gold, so something must be burned off, right? Transform. So here we go, the shadow attribute for the mediator. So this is the soul power you are going to be dealing with. Negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. So think about that. What does a mediator do? They go between like 2 parties, sometimes 3, it depends, particularly in professional circumstances. Different than a lawyer, a mediator is there to try and balance things out. So when one does that with an ulterior motive, which means what? Something hidden in the shadow. What's an ulterior motive? It's a motive that you have hidden, that nobody knows about but you. That can possess you and take you down a very, very slippery slope, as it can ruin your reputation. It can absolutely put you in a down spiral in terms of toxic behavior where you're not able to then mediate your own life. I've seen it happen. But this is why you're moving towards the light attribute. Gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of an argument. Now, that's what the world needs right now, right? So the more y'all Scorpios can do that, because you have the intuitive power to feel things out, to be diplomatic, to be a mediator. So maybe if one side seems illogical and the other one seems completely rational, you can kind of empath and feel it's like, yeah, but they're really upset. So what if we talk this out and bring it into what? Balance. In a way, it's sort of Libran, but it's also about strategies here. Now, this is the wisdom family. So keep that in mind, that this is about alchemizing wisdom from experience. So of course we all have lead, we all have toxic experiences, we all have toxicity. So this is an opportunity for you to really mediate all of that stuff within yourself as well, and come up with some fairness and strategy in your personal life and or professional life. Got it? Okay, now that's going to be sort of like the dominant energy, right? Like the main energy, but we're going to clarify that with 2 cards from Oh, it's the lust card. He looked at me with lust. Chuck Spezzano love pack. But what I did is I took out all the problem suit, right? The suit of problems, as I affectionately call them, the womp 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 womp, the womp womp cards. And then the other half of the deck, and I think it's pretty much literally 50-50. There is the healing suit, the grace suit, and the luck suit, right? So we're going to pull one to help clarify the lead in here and one for the gold. So let's start with the lead, as we do, right? Breathe. The deeper you breathe, the deeper your thoughts will go, right? The deeper your focus will be. Because shallow breathing leads to shallow thinking and sort of like, breathe. My masters, please, one card in clarity for this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign for this Samhain season and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. For this Scorpio mediator archetype, please clarify what is the lead, what is the shadow that we can identify it for them. Control, right? If you look, the dude literally has a leash around the lady's neck. Really, if you want to think about it, that's the internal divine masculine sort of chaining the divine feminine, where if anything, the intuition should be leading the way. The divine feminine should be sort of like, oh, this doesn't feel right. No, but this is what we have to do. Like men who won't ask for directions. That's why I think GPS, right? Helpful. So control of what? We'll see. Let's have a look-see-duck-see here at the gold then, please, my masters, one card in clarity. Yeah, they're really serious about this. Usually they're kind of light and jovial, but this feels a little heavy duty. Please, my masters, one card in clarity for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign for this Samhain season. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. We've got the Scorpio mediator with the shadow of control dramas, control issues, wanting to control, wanting to rearrange deck chairs on the Titanic. Wow, that is pretty fucking heavy, guys. So can we get them a luck card, a healing card, or a grace card to kind of help them move that in the direction of alchemy? Please, one card for my Scorps here. Irresistibility. I think this just came up in the Libra card. Irresistibility. I want to make sure you can see the word. There we go, irresistibility. So, wow, there's a real push-pull here. There's a real push-pull, right? Like, well, this person is obviously pushing, but this is like very this is very electromagnetic. This feels very much like drawn. Where in your mediating situations, there are just things here that may be in your power, but not in your control. But you're irresistibly being drawn in a direction that is one you're not usually drawn in, right? Particularly if you've been in the shadow and you've been mediating on, the side of maybe a family member, right? Or a friend, like sort of like the judge archetype where you've got a thumb on the scale there. And this time it's like, I can't do that. And the fear is that if you do that, if you do not take the side of, even if you take both sides, it's gonna really, your fear is that you will be subject to the ramifications of breaking the control of whoever has control over you, because you've given power away to them. So to be really true and really fair as a mediator, right, you're there to bring what? Fairness and a strategy to balance things out using wisdom. But now I get negotiating with an ulterior motive, and that ulterior motive can be, well, I'm being controlled. And if I break that chain of control, all hell will break loose. Either in your personal and your professional world. Now that could absolutely be in your professional world. Like maybe you have to mediate for someone in your company or a boss or something like that. Some position of power where your job could be threatened. But it's like your soul is telling you, be honorable here. Do this. Do the wise thing, and not the business wise thing, the soul wise thing. Tricky. You know, because people want loyalty, right? People want loyalty, and it's like, well, loyalty and fairness is not the same thing, right? So you essentially want me to lie, right? Is sort of the dealio on that. So we're not done. We're not anywhere done with that. And, you know, we all have to deal with that, but this feels like really dominant within this collective, the Scorpios that I'm reading for here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get 5 cards and a lovely little spread called the Element Spread. I actually did a video on it. I think I did a Mal vlog on it a year or so ago. Yeah, I was already here at the house. So it was maybe last year. I moved here 2 years ago this month. Laying out fire, earth, air, water, spirit. If you're interested on more info on the spread, you can go look at that in my video collection on the tube of you. But I love this spread. I used to read this in gay bars in my 20s for drugs and alcohol in the 80s. Oh, Scorpios. I had a lot of Scorpios back in my day. Okay, so here we go. Please, my gods. Hades and Poseidon in particular, though any gods are welcome to guide here. Please, top 5 cards, element spread for this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign for this Samhain season, and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Please. Fire. What do they want out of this? Earth. What do they have to help them get what they want? Air. What are they thinking about what they want? Water. What are they feeling about what they want? And spirit. What is the general overview? What is the overview? What is the overlooking 5th dimensional spirit perspective of what's going on for them, please? My God's top 5 cards. Thank you very much. Clear cut, please. Maiden, Mother. Doesn't matter, that didn't clear cut, or I got my top 10 cards. Crone, Maiden, Mother, Crone. Let's do this. No reversals. I'm not doing reversals for this. Enough is going to be reversed with these retrogrades. So here we go. Fire. What do you want, my Scorpios? Well, interestingly enough, a Taurus card. Now, the court cards I don't always read as people. Yes, you could want a person. Maybe this is the person that you better not piss off, right? Or you're afraid that you might piss off if you don't take their side, if you don't mediate with to their advantage. But deeper than that, this is 2nd house, life values, right? Solid, stable, bedrock life values. So what you really want here to do is to be rock solid and maybe a bit stubborn on your honor, right? Do you value your honor? Do you honor truth? Do you honor fairness, right? Because if a Scorpio doesn't have that value, oh my God. Well, they're a lot of fun, but they're really toxic too. But at the same time, if that is something on them, that they really have that thing about fairness, I know many of my Scorpio friends do, right? Particularly the healers and the mystics in my circle of friends. Then that honor thing, if that gets challenged and they don't go along with that, they got like stomach upsets and they get constipation, and it's just really, really rough on them. So, you know, your element of fire here is about the nourishing Mother of Pentacles, the Corn Mother. So there's something here that is so valuable and bedrock for you, of value, and something fertile for you, that's what you really, really want out of this situation. And then if this represents a person, wonderful, but then it's in context of you being somehow a mediator with the shadow of control, a control problem, yours or somebody else's, and then with this irresistibility pulling you forward. So let's have a look. What is the element of earth? It's like the wick in the candle, right? That it's the earth element that allows the flame to be. Now, this card is called jealousy. 7 of Cups. I don't know that this feels like jealousy to me, but if you think of the traditional, you know, Rider-Waite version of 7 of Cups, it's those 7 castles in the sky. So there, you know, and what triggers jealousy? When you have an idea that somebody else has got something that, God damn it, how come they have that and I don't have that? I've worked hard. When's it my turn? When's it my turn? Absolutely a voice of the ego. If that's something here, if that's something going on here, that's controlling you. Here is what I have found, because everybody deals with jealousy, and jealousy is not exactly the deadly sin of envy, right? The deadly sin of the third eye is envy. Go read Defy Gravity by Carolyn Mace, or my book, Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. We go deal with shadow and grace, chakra by chakra. It's a really good book, ebook. It's in the description box below. Plug. But the thing to do is give it a voice. Give it a voice. Let it speak, because I find when I start getting even a whiff of jealousy and I go, whoo, hold on, what's going on, kid? Right? I talk to the ego. I talk to the personality. Mark A. Lyons, remember, we are the souls that were chosen to play the roles of these human characters, right? So this stuff is all written in, you know, whether we knew about it or not. I mean, I feel like, you know, we had to audition for the parts and then we were chosen, but maybe not. Maybe we were just fucking sent down here because we wanted an experience, right? It's like a choose your own adventure game. So in that sense, if there is jealousy going on here, or any intense emotion about things that you may not have, right? Like those castles in the sky, well, do I want that, or do I want that? I do want, it's like starving to death in front of a banquet, right? What is it? The world's a banquet, and most poor sons of bitches are starving to death. Thank you, Ascended Master Mame. Then this really is emotional, Scorpio. So dig into those emotions. Or if this is so unfair, it's so unfair, this should be fair. That feels more like it, doesn't it? Like, oh, it's so fucking unfair. It's trying to control me, and you control me, you control me. And by the way, Taurus is your opposite sign. So that might be something that may be complementary to help you heal this. But really, you have to stick with your values in order to move through this. You're going to have to stand up for yourself and maybe break chains of control on you. But to give voice to without acting on, you love what rises, because here, I mean, I've said this with every reading I've done in this series, everything that happens from the outside in, right? Everything that happens around us, that comes to us, or anything that rises from within us is here to help us grow, heal, learn, evolve, and become the best that we could be, fulfilling our role in the divine plan. That's what we came in to do, right? Though we may not remember that. I don't think we do remember that. I don't think we're supposed to remember that. But so this jealousy pattern, or this, damn it, it's just unfair, how come you get to freaking control everything? That's really the feeling. It's just like, it's like a 7-year-old kid. Maybe an 8-year-old kid, right? It's just not fair. Just fucking hate this. Boiling inside of you, eating you up, creating what? More emotional baggage. So to get that, this situation has been set up so that you can alchemize some of that stuff. And how do you do that? Well, how would you talk to a 7 or 8-year-old kid? Would you try and explain to them the psychology and metaphysics? No. You say, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry that you're not getting what you want. My God, I wish that I could give it to you, but it's just not on the menu right now, but I love you. And it's okay for you to feel that way. Those are the words that I use. I don't only say, I accept that I'm feeling. I say, oh, it's okay. It's like I talk to the emotion itself. And that's embracing the shadow. Now, it sounds easy. Simple need not imply easy. A quote from the Course in Miracles, and it should know. Course in Miracles, it's simple. Forgive. Forgiveness is the miracle. We're all guiltless, sinless, birthless, deathless souls here in this world. Not easy. Not easy. What is it? The Son of God can't sin in a dream. The way I put that from a pagan. So they go, the children of God cannot sin in a dream. Right? And how much of that dream is, you know, 4 agreements, right? Don't take anything personally, because everybody's in their own dream. Everybody's in their own movie, right? So very intense. Let's do it. What are you thinking about all of this? Well, the Nine of Flames, which is the Nine of Wands, which is the wanderer. So your mind may be wandering a bit, but with that Nine of Flames, you know, you think again, the traditional Rider-Waite, dude all bandaged. It's sort of like, you know what? I've got everything I need. I can pack and move if I need to. No, probably not move your home, but there's something calling you forward, right? It's like the wagoneer, if you will, of the wanderer is being drawn to what's over the next summit, that light. So you're headed towards the light, right? From the shadow into the light. So really move your mind in that direction. It's like, well, how do I then mediate? Because it feels like you're in a mediator situation, but there's like maybe one side of it that you have to mediate between you and them. And let's move this towards light, because I just want to be fair. And I can't do favorites on this anymore because it's killing me. It's eating me alive inside. Let that voice come up, you know, and just orient yourself in that direction. All right. So how are you feeling about that? Well, you got the Emperor card. So a part of you, I'm not going to say gets off on it, but some part of you really does like having the power of the Emperor. Now, in this deck, because it's a feminist deck, she combined the Emperor and the Hierophant, right? So there's definitely some wisdom and power here that you're feeling. It's like you're feeling your oats, as it were. And oh my God, I can feel it coursing through my body. It's not an abusive power usually, but oh my God, they're giving me flashes of the Disney version of Alice in Wonderland, where the Queen of Hearts, off with their head, and the king is like running around like that, right? It's like, well, then this is the divine masculine energy in your field of water, in your emotions. It's like, with that going on, it feels like, it's like, well, damn it, this is my role. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm good at. This is my thing. This is my crown. This is my thing that I do. Stop telling me what to do. Let me do this honorably, because I'd rather be an honorable emperor than a bought tyrant. Ooh, there's a political ring on that I'm going to avoid. What's the overview then? What is sort of like the larger picture of all of this is conflict. Now, mediators don't have jobs without conflict, but this is really an internal conflict as well as an external conflict, a real push and pull. And that's what, even though there's a card in this deck called push and pull, and it's not that, here's what I'm getting, and you might really want to explore your emotions and your intuition on this, though they're not quite the same thing, I'll admit, that the control over you is not overt, it's covert. Does that make sense? It's insinuated. Like, if you don't do what I want on this, I'm going to make your life hell, although it's never said. It's like, you know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel that? That the control might not be something that you could necessarily catch on audio tape, right? And use as evidence. It's something like a light intimidation, but one perhaps that you've experienced before in this situation. And there might not just be one person who does this, right? That's why I'm always careful with court cards. It's like, well, it's this person. I don't think so. By the way, it's the only court card that's going to come up in this spread anyway, because we're not pulling another tarot. But there is this feeling, there's this controlling thing. Like, maybe it's an organization, right? That you're supposed to be fair and balanced in this, but you know, who's signing your checks? Do you know what I mean? There's just something shadowy going on here, but there's an irresistibility about it that you have to do this. Like, it's irresistible. I have to do the right thing. I have to be fair. I have to be a real mediator, a golden mediator, a mediator of light, which sounds a little fluffy even for me. I ain't that fluffy. I'm wearing guy liner for you all Scorps, well, all the signs, but really just for you. I'm not gonna lie. For everybody, it's for me. It's for me, all for me. All right, narcissistic eyeliner. Another great band name. Are anybody writing these down? I'd be a great lead singer. I'm classically trained as a singer, although my heart and soul has been given to rock and roll. So let's ask the angels. The Doreen Virtue, Healing with the Angels Oracle. We're going to clarify these 5 fuckers for you all. Breathe. You know, the deeper the exhale, the deeper the inhale. How's that for a Samhain blessing? The more you exhale, the more you inhale. So the more you let go of, the more room you make, right? So let's look here. My angels, please, 1 card in clarity for this Taurus, the element of fire, for this Scorpio, what they want, which, you know, I'm so getting about. This is about the life values, the better things that are really, really, really important to this Scorpio. That's what they want. They want, you know, to be very, very solid and stable and fertile and prosperous based upon their life values. So what you got for them? Spiritual growth. My God, if you can really look at this as an opportunity for spiritual growth, and that's what you want. It's like, regardless of what anybody else says or does, I'm doing this for the growth of my spirit, because that's what everything is happening for. That's what this situation is. And believe me, no one has ever been asked to prostitute themselves, so to speak, right? To not have faith in their guidance, their grace, their values, who stood by it, got fired, got it taken down a peg, whatever, that was not pretty instantly given the next thing, right? It's like, yep, we needed to get you out of that, because your spirit wants to incarnate and be integrated fully into form, right? It's not just about, oh yes, wisdom, 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 up here, up here, up here. It's about conduct, bringing it into action, bringing it into breath, habituating, right? Allowing your spirit to completely integrate into form and being that light, right? I am the light I am. All right, so what you got to deal with that is dealing with this Seven of Cups. Now, like I said, yeah, it can be jealousy, but the connecting link that I felt there, if it's not necessarily jealousy, is like, this is so fucking unfair. This is so unfair, right? This is my thing. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm good at. This is what you come to me for. It's like, how fucking dare you? I want this to be fair. I want, you know, it's like, and I can see the turbulence. I can feel the turbulence in that. So my angels, please, one card in clarity here. Please clarify this Seven of Cups jealousy card for the Scorpios. That what you've got is friends. You've got friendships here. People that you can talk to, hopefully in confidentiality, to help you deal with this, right? That I don't feel like this is coming from, well, oh, well, that's what it is. A friend. What you got on your hands to help you alchemize this is to get that your friend is asking for a bit more than you can give. Or I'm not going to say should give. That's up to you. Everybody has their own free will. But, you know, choices have consequences. And the consequence here really does not feel great. You're just going to repeat this over and over and over again until somebody explodes, right? Or is drowned. Water sign. I can feel this, and like, can you talk to a friend and say, dude or dudette, I really can't do this. This is twisting in my gut like a knife. My entire soul is telling me I have to be honorable here. Tricky shit. Tricky shit. All right. So what you're thinking is the wanderer. And yeah, there's probably some defensiveness in there. That would make sense. That you're thinking, gotta really get my defense going. Like, how am I going to do this? How can I protect myself so that you can move forward from the 9 to the 10 and be done with this, right? So my angels, please, one card in clarity for this Scorpio collective in their element of air, the 9 of flames. What's going on there? And this is about a soulmate. Is this between a friend and a soulmate? Is this about a friend and a significant other? Oh, I do not envy you, dude. Dude, do not. Ma'am, sir. That gave me a little bit of a Scorpio hot flash, and I only have Neptune and Scorpio, so that should have cooled my shit down. It's like, whoa. Yeah. You are caught between a rock and a hard place. Sorry. Tricky. And the truth of the matter is, you need to be honorable anyway. Why? Because you got to choose what kind of emperor you want to be. Now, I do agree with the common vernacular, at least on YouTube, that the emperors are all of the kings as one, right? So you have air, fire, water, earth kings, and then this would be the spirit king. So considering spiritual growth is here, really, you have to go with what feels right for you. You are a Scorpio, you know, sun, moon, rising Mercury sign. You really have to go with the element of water here, but let's clarify that. Please, my angels, one card in clarity, please clarify this. Pan, the god Pan, the natural grounded emperor here, balanced, beneficent, we hope, or a total fucking tyrant, please. Right, and that's the thing. Are you going to abuse your power? Oh, there it is. Simple, clear, clean. So please, one card to clarify this Emperor card, the card of Pan for this Scorpio. Blessings. That's where the blessings come in. You're not going to find it logically. You're not going to find it through strategy. You're going to find your blessing your way through this. And I would certainly recommend that you begin, considering you got spiritual growth there and in your life values with Taurus, that you begin silently blessing all of them. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. Like tennis game. May you be blessed. May you be blessed. Way before you have to deal with this. Now, if you're dealing with this at the time of the reading, breathe. You inhale grace, you exhale grace to them, and it's gonna, all blessings move through the blesser first. So really the initial benefit of the blessing goes to the blesser, right? But that there are blessings here, that you have guidance, and that your higher power, God, Goddess, Zeus, Buddha, Jesus, Zan, Janus, Shaggy, Scooby, Fred, Wilma, Barney, and Betty, whatever your pantheon is, they have got your back here, but you have to participate. You have to play your role and be fair and just and be a blessing upon this situation. And sometimes Maybe that is to walk away. Now, this is the Nine of Flames, not the Eight of Cups, but it is that thing of wanderer. Now, not walk away necessarily from a soulmate, but just to say, you know what? I can't be impartial here because you're both pulling me in different directions, and this is not friendly or fair. I said this one felt intense. So this is probably not just over whose coffee do you like better, right? This is a big deal. This is a big deal. And I feel like you're not just being asked to mediate, you're being asked to choose your loyalties. Not fair. I get that. Now, the overview, conflict. This is a conflict. No question, right? It looks like there are two archers, but there's only one dragon fueling the fire. So what is the heart of the conflict here? So let's find out. 1, a 2, a 3, crunch 3. Please, my angels, one card in clarity for this Scorpio about this conflict card, the 4 of Flames. In overview, what's going on here? Self-acceptance. Right? So you've got to stand up for yourself. That's what this is really about you saying, no, this doesn't feel right. I'm not doing it. This is a lose-lose situation for me. And if you asked me to do this, it's not going to go well because the resentment that you will carry as a result of it, because you've had to do this before. And for some of you, it's escalating every single time. Like it might have started out with, well, whose coffee do you like more? And now it's like, you either stop talking to them or I'm done. Right? It's like, well, what the fuck happened, right? You aren't necessarily even involved with what was going on. You're being called in like a third party to balance and mediate. So self-acceptance. Now, what is self-acceptance? I said it before. It's like with this card, oh, it's fucking so unfair. It's okay, honey. I love you. We'll find our way through this. I'm not abandoning you. I'm here. I love you. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And it's like, but I want my value. I want to do the right thing. Of course you do. I love you. It's okay. I love you. I love you. I love you. I want to move on. I don't want to do this anymore. It's okay, honey. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I really just want to be a blessing upon all of this. I want this all to work out for the well-being of all. I know, sweetheart. It's okay. I love you. I love you. I love you. That's how you resolve conflict within yourself. Holographic reality. As you clear that in yourself, maybe this situation that's going on between this friend and this soulmate. Now, a soulmate doesn't necessarily even have to mean that it's a lover or a significant other in that way. It can be a family member, right? It can be anyone that you have that soul contract with. And it does feel like it would be the soulmate that would be saying, hey, 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 hey. Right? And what if this is the one in the right? I think that's the thing. That's why they're in the Earth position. It's like it might very well be that this is the one that makes you see, but it's not fair. They're in the right on this one. Just have a feeling. Just have a sense on that. That you could maybe switch that up depending on the person watching this, right? So a very intense thing here. Self-acceptance really does seem to be the linchpin that heals all of this so that you can be a blessing, right? So as you bless and heal that, so you're not just loving what rises in terms of what sucks, you're also loving what rises in terms of, I really want to bless, and you love your heart when it's happy and when it's joyful and when it's excited. It's like, oh, I love you so much. Those 3 words, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's very Ho'oponopono. I studied with Dr. Hugh Len, weekend workshop. God, that was a long time ago. I think that was 10 years ago. Jeez. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved. Your higher self, the higher selves of everybody involved in this. Although I really do feel like some of this is a corporate gig that you're dealing with, and there is pressure. There is control and pressure going on here. So I'm feeling a couple of different scenarios going on here. So let's get the 5th dimensional and above higher self point of view with a whisper of love. I love this oracle. It's so beautiful. So please. The higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity. A whisper of love for this Scorpio collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign. For this Samhain season and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, please, a whisper of love for this Scorpio mediator dealing with control and irresistibility. Please, one card. Here it is. Listen with your heart. Oh my God. Listen with your heart. Little Steamboat Annie there for you. Listen with your heart. You are listening to what is being said to you, but you need to listen with a loving heart. In other words, you got to go empathic. that you might feel that what's underneath this struggle for the other people, like hear what's not being said, what's going on here is perhaps a fear of abandonment or a fear of betrayal. And that's not your role in this. You're not abandoning anybody. You're not betraying anybody. You're trying to be fair and honest. And it says right in here to find a strategy to work this out. And it feels like one or perhaps both people in this, they don't want to be fair. They just want to win because of wounds within themselves. Now, how responsible are you for that? Absolutely not at all. Even if they blame you for every single percent of it, it is 0%. You do you. And as a Scorpio, you can go in a healthy way covert, loving this, transforming this within yourself, right? So also listen with your heart to the emotions as well. It's okay, just like a child in pain or a child that has been treated unfairly. But you know, that's the thing with kids. It's like they want what they want, and if they don't get it, it's not fair. It's like, just wait, kid, right? Walk the spiritual path and try manifesting something that's not scripted for you for years. Great fun. Not. Okay, so let's give you your overview, shall we? Magic clap. So we start off here with the mediator archetype, just to refresh your memory. In the shadow, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either professionally or personally. The light attribute, a gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of the argument. And the word negotiating there really just hit me in a different way, that it's sort of like negotiating choppy seas, right? It's like you have to kind of negotiate your way through this obstacle course. And that is the soul power being developed for you, and that's totally worth it, because the lead of this is control, right? The shadow part of this is control, that you're feeling control, or maybe that you're not comfortable with the power that you have in this, but yet there is something irresistibly calling you forward. And what is that as we shift over to the tarot spread here? We've got your life values. That's what you really want. That's what's pulling you forward. That Taurus card of life values, the nurturing, fertile, fixed earth of the corn mother with spiritual growth. That what you want is to grow as a result of this, though that might not be at the top of your list. You may just want this to go the fuck away. But that's really what's being offered here to you. And that's what your soul is really wanting. So what is the earth that feeds that fire? You've got jealousy, the 7 of Cups, that again might not necessarily be jealousy so much as it is about, this is so fucking unfair, sort of anger, frustration, a lot of scorpionic emotions swimming around down there. But with friendship, right? And which also says that you can make friends with these emotions. You can say, it's all right, you're welcome here. You're welcome in my body. Now I'm going to breathe, and it's okay. You can feel this, without acting on it, without making you put a thumb on the scale, as it were. Because what are you thinking about this? The 9 of Flames, the wanderer, your mind wandering, kind of going back and forth between, with this soulmate card, this soulmate to a friend, kind of wishing you could just move on. And can we just get to the end of this? Can we like fast forward through all the conflict and get to the resolution? But also a bit of defensiveness as well. They keep flashing. The Rider-Waite, 9 of Wands there. Beaten, bandaged, and bruised, right, in defense, waiting for that 10 to come in, or resting up to kind of get that 10th wand and be done with it and drop the burden of all of this, that maybe this is the last time you ever have to do this, right? If you do this the right way, if you really go into the blessing, be the blessing by being the emperor here emotionally, and just coming forth really strong, but also very honorable, and saying, this is really dishonorable what you're asking me to do, and I know I've done it before, but it's a slippery slope, and now I'm sliding at 100 miles an hour down this slope, and it feels horrible to me. So dearest soulmate, dearest friend, what the fuck? Look what you're asking me to do. You two resolve this for yourself, but I love you both. I'll be in the corner eating popcorn, right? To be a blessing on that, I'm going to pray for you both. I'm going to bless you both. But if you don't want me to be a blessing on this, if you don't want me to be fair, you got to find somebody else, because I love you both too much. Now, anybody who gives you shit after that, you're dealing with somebody, you're dealing with a narcissist, essentially. I don't care about your honor. I have no empathy about what you're feeling. Do what I want you to do out of loyalty. nightmare. And what's your overview here? That this is a conflict of self-acceptance, as well as it's possible that the other people involved here aren't really accepting their part in this either. So for you to really accept this conflict that you have inside of you, that it can be resolved by bringing it love, by bringing it acceptance, because this is a massive spiritual lesson that's being learned on the planet right now, right? All of humanity. See, I don't think like dogs, cats, birds, trees, bushes, radishes, right, have these issues. When you say you're clearing something for all of life in the quantum hologram, as your heart heals, all heart heals. As you heal, all life heals. But this is a very human thing, a very 3D. You can't have conflict in the fifth dimensional because it's unity consciousness, right? So in spirit, we're all one. We all retain our unique individual qualities, like colors in the spectrum of the rainbow, right? So to accept all of that, and of course, the guidance from your higher self and the higher selves of all involved is, please just listen with your heart. You're listening to what is being said to you, but you need to listen with a loving heart to say, no, I hear you. I hear both sides of you. I love you both so much, but I have to stick with my values on this. Otherwise, I will take a hit that has nothing to do with the two of you, really. Not that you will be punished necessarily, but you will deliberately be making a decision to disempower yourself and sabotaging the fairness of this situation, right? Well, my Scorpios, a rough ride, tricky, a lot of emotional, mental stuff here, really. Earth cards, the only Earth card you got here is in your life value, so it doesn't feel like this is happening right now. It may, like you may know it's coming, but you do have, I feel like you've got some wiggle room here time-wise. I would really, really focus on the divine masculine part of yourself to be the sacred mind, the divine mind, the balanced mind, right? Left brain, right brain, hemisphere balance here, mediate that. And I would be really interested to know what this is about. Actually, you know, there are other readings I never ask. It's like, if you want to say what this is about, comment in the box. But like this feels like an ethical, tricky, sticky here for you. So let me give you the blessing. Breathe. May the Scorpio collective, sun, moon, rising, Mercury signs be blessed with all that they need for this Samhain season and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, that they can heal, that they can grow, that they may be wise, that they may be fair, that they may be able to negotiate with fairness and a strategy to resolve and bring balance to themselves and to this world, to fulfill their role in the divine plan for the well-being of all. And so it is. My Scorpios, from my soul to yours, I love you so much. This is your season. Happy birthday. And may you be blessed with all of the best. But for now, hail, farewell, blessed Samhain, and blessed, blessed, blessed be. See, one for each of you. Blessed, blessed, blessed be. Ciao.